You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear.
Carlin's a god. Every 2 years, and especially every 4 years, when Americans go to their various polling stations to supposedly decide the person that will lead them forth from Washington and other various seats of governmental power, someone's always whispering in various ears that it means nothing, zero, nada. Your vote is useless because in the end it's all a fixed game and nothing you think you can do about it will work. Let's put away the tinfoil hats for a moment. Consider this is not just another conspiracy wingnut flying into the stratosphere. It's real, not X-Files real, but with so much money floating about and so much influence being peddled under the table, to avoid the possibility is a fool's errand. Let's begin there. Welcome in the nationally syndicated radio host and founder of the always controversial and eye-opening content platform, EpicTimes.com, Jerry Doyle. Jerry, when I saw Bernie Sanders talk about how things were fixed in Washington, I said, Jerry and I got to talk about this because people make fun of the guy, but in essence, isn't he right?
Yes, he is right. His solutions are problematic, but what he's talking about is real. When you look at the fact that about 3 months ago, you had 82 people on the planet that controlled as much wealth as the bottom 49%. Now that number is 65, controlling the same 3.2 billion people with regard to relative net worth. I don't care how much money somebody has. I care how they got it. And the game is rigged so that you're buying access to politicians who are basically then doing the business of the banker gangsters and the crony capitalists. They don't represent the people. They represent the system, and the system is not working for the people.
What you said just there, when we started talking about this, I wrote down 4 things: lobbyists and power, homage to donations and donators, pet projects, and under-the-table payoffs. Look, we can sit here and we can bluster all we want, but until something substantively changes in Washington, none of this is going to stop. This has been going on for hundreds of years. There is no way for the American public to vote their way out of this, is there?
Well, not if they keep sending the same idiots back to Washington, D.C. I mean, people just say, we need term limits. If we had term limits, we'd be able to get things done. Well, if we had term limits, these crooks on Capitol Hill would just steal the money faster, knowing they're only going to be there for 2 or 4 years. But what we have to do is we have to recognize that we do have term limits. They're called elections, and elections have consequences. And if you go straight D, straight R because your party's better than the other party and your party's right and the other party's wrong, then you're sending the same crooks back to Washington, D.C. time and time again, and expecting a different outcome. I'm listening to Hillary Clinton last night with Anderson Cooper, $675,000 for 3 speeches. And she goes, that's what they offered. I go, a heroin dealer will offer you something for free to get you hooked. All they want is access to you. They're paid. I know people who have cured diseases who don't get paid $675,000 to talk about curing the disease. She says, they want to know what I know. No, they just want to know what your zip code is so they can come and shake you down for the payback for what it is they paid you to put you there.
Jerry, one of these days it's going to get through. You and I and others who are really smart about this are going to continue to point people. We're going to poke them right in the eye, give them a finger here and say, if you don't know what you're voting for and whom you're voting for, then you are stupid. You are basically just part of the sheeple in this country, and you are part of the problem. We will continue to do that. Let's get to something else here. 2 minutes we got left. This I found interesting. The top officers in the Army and the Marine Corps testifying on Tuesday. Time for women to register for future military drafts. I see nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, I think it's way past time that happened.
Amen to that. Everybody should have to register for the draft. We got 1% of the people in this country that actually serve or are involved with people who serve. Most of the people in this country don't have a connection to wars or to any conflict that's happening around the globe. So while we elect people who vote on whether we should or shouldn't go, send our troops or not, 99% of the people don't have a direct connection to or investment in actual conflicts where we would send our military in. When you registered for the draft and they're pulling your random sequence number and your number is number 5, that'll get your attention. And I think everybody should be on board, at least understanding what it is we're doing with regard to our foreign policy and how it is we involve our military.
I only got about 45 seconds left, but here, we're probably going to be called sexist for this, but let's be honest. There are certain jobs that certain people, whether they're male or female, it makes no difference, cannot handle on front lines. You've got to earn it, male or female. We've got to stop just giving people these rights to go, oh, you can be in a forward notion because you're a female. No, earn it and you can be there. End of story.
Absolutely, I agree. We don't water down the standards to change what it is we want for some social outcome. We have the right person for the right job at the right time. If it happens to be a man, so be it. If it happens to be a woman, so be it. If it happens to be both of them at the same time, so be it. But we don't change what we do, what has worked historically, so that people feel better about how we're progressing as a nation.
I like that. Remember and I say this all the time, if you want to play lumberjack, learn to handle your end of the log. It always works no matter how you get to it. I want to remind everybody, make sure you check out the latest on what's happening on those ends of the logs. On epictimes.com, you'll find it all there. Jerry Doyle's there. A bunch of really good people work there as well and constantly keep you updated. Jerry, always a pleasure, my friend. Be good. We'll talk to you again next week. Now, the current political game is afoot, and the political animal is next. Oh, yeah, and the aforementioned Hillary Clinton will be mentioned as well. Stay with us. The Hardline continues.